Welcome to Sky News, our top stories. Theresa May and Ruth Davidson take different positions on the winter fuel allowance for pensioners.
Scotland has a colder climate. We also have a different amount of housing stock, and devolution allows you to make different decisions.
Sweden drops the rape inquiry into Julian Assange, but he remains holed up in the Ecuadorian embassy. Trump sets off on his first foreign trip as reports emerge he called his FBI director a nut job.
Chasing suspects, Windsor Grove.
We have a special report on an elite police unit tackling knife crime. They warn more stop and search may be needed.
Stop and search is working well in London. It is on a reduction overall, but there are certain boroughs where it is used more effectively and there needs to be more of it.
A very good morning to you and welcome to Sky News. The Prime Minister, Theresa May, was accused of hypocrisy yesterday after it emerged the Conservative Party in Scotland would be campaigning to keep the winter fuel allowance for pensioners. The leader of the Conservatives in Scotland, Ruth Davidson, told Sky News they'd be campaigning to keep the benefit north of the border because of the cold weather. Here's our political correspondent, Tamara Cohen.
Arriving in Scotland, where she hopes to make an electoral breakthrough, Theresa May was forced to defend her plans for pensioners.
Franchised.
Over 65s vote in large numbers. Their verdict on this crucial issue could well be decisive. Tamara Cohen, Sky News.
Conservatives' different positions on pensioner benefits north and south of the border reveal how the election in Scotland is being fought in stark contrast to the rest of the country. Our senior political correspondent Robert Nisbet was with the Prime Minister at the launch of the Scottish Conservative Manifesto and sent this report.
At a hauliers near Edinburgh, the Prime Minister transported her freshly launched brand of Conservative interventionism, Era Highland Clearance. Robert Nisbet, Sky News, Moffat.
The WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange says Sweden's decision to drop an investigation into rape claims against him is an important victory. He spent almost 5 years in the Ecuadorian embassy in London, avoiding extradition to Sweden to face the allegations. And for now, he's staying put as he still faces arrest for skipping bail. Sky's Ashish Joshi has a story.
Triumphant, angry and defiant. All three emotions were evident in Julian Assange's reaction to Sweden's decision to drop its rape investigation. He'll be leaving the Ecuadorian embassy anytime soon. Ashish Joshi, Sky News.
It's reported that one of President Trump's close advisors is said to be of significant interest in the criminal investigation into possible links between Trump's election campaign and Russia. And in another development, the New York Times is reporting that Donald Trump described his former FBI director James Comey as crazy and a real nut job in a meeting with Russia's top diplomat. Comey has agreed to testify publicly about Russian interference in the 2016 elections. All this as Donald Trump has hoped to leave behind the domestic storm as he set off on his first foreign trip as president. He'll visit 5 countries in the Middle East and Europe, where he'll try to reassure global leaders about his America First message. His first stop will be to Saudi Arabia's capital before he goes to Jerusalem. The president will then meet the Pope at the Vatican before his next stop in Brussels, where he'll have talks with the EU leaders, a meeting with the new French president and a NATO dinner. His final destination is the G7 summit in Sicily. Sky's US correspondent Amanda Walker reports.
With turmoil at home, Donald Trump's first foreign trip could be a welcome distraction. Would be easier than his old life. That theory must now feel long buried. Amanda Walker, Sky News, Washington.
Well, let's get more on that story now from our diplomatic editor Dominic Waghorn, who's in Washington.
I think the hope in the Trump White House was that this trip would draw a line under what has been one of the most extraordinary weeks ever, and which are refusing to die down.
Voting has ended in Iran's closely fought presidential election that could determine the country's social and economic reform. The choice is between relatively reformist President Rouhani, who plans more economic growth, and conservative challenger Ebrahim Raisi, who's positioned himself as a defender of the poor. Election officials extended the voting deadline to accommodate the large numbers of voters. Terror suspect Khalid Mohammed Omar Ali, who was arrested near Downing Street, has told a court he doesn't intend to be represented by a lawyer. He was arrested on terrorism charges last month in Whitehall, where he was allegedly carrying 3 knives. The police in London could step up the use of their stop and search powers on the streets to try to deal with the increase in knife crime. In an exclusive report for Sky News, Scotland Yard has revealed it could be the best way to stop the growing numbers of young people carrying deadly weapons. 30 people have been stabbed to death in London this year, with 14 murders using knives in the last 4 weeks. And the Metropolitan Police say a record 300 knives were seized in a 7-day period. Our Home Affairs correspondent Mark White has had exclusive access to the Metropolitan Police Force's elite gang unit, and this is his report.
In South London, these gang unit officers are responding to an incident involving a knife. A controversial tactic, but one the police believe is vital in helping combat the shocking rise in knife attacks.
Male detained, Windsor Grove. Can we have a dog van on the hurry up, please?
Mark White, Sky News.
You're watching Sky News. Stay with us. After the break, we'll have all the latest sports.
The right honourable gentleman opposite is simply not fit to lead.
A Prime Minister who cannot be trusted.
What do we know we get from the Labour Party? Bankruptcy and chaos.
The Tories have broken every promise. Why should anyone believe a word they say?
It's called leadership. He should try it sometime.
It's not so much the Iron Lady as the Irony Lady.
May v Corbyn, the battle for number 10, live on Sky News and Channel 4.
There's more now on Sky Sports News HQ. We're back later.
A tranquil air rests over Doha as the sun shines bright above Miami.
The weekend will bring further showers, especially today, and some of them could be heavy and thundery. There'll be a cloudy and wet start for much of Scotland, Northern Ireland and northern and eastern England, but elsewhere it'll be pretty chilly with just a few showers. The rain will slowly clear from northern Scotland into Northern Isles today. Further south, more showers will develop across the rest of the UK and Ireland as the day goes on. Some of the showers could be heavy with hail and thunder, but some will ease off later across southern parts of the UK. There'll also be some showers on Sunday, these mainly in the north and west. The showers will be less frequent and lighter than today, so there is a chance of drier and sunnier spells, especially in the southeast.
The weather, sponsored by Qatar Airways.
This is Sky News. Coming up, we'll take another look at this morning's papers with Anna Jones.
Only on Sky Sports.
You're watching Sky News. The headlines. Theresa May and Ruth Davidson take different positions on the winter fuel allowance for pensioners. WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange says his legal battle is far from over after Sweden drops its rape claim investigation. Trump sets off on his first foreign trip as reports emerge he called his FBI director a nutjob. Syria has described a US airstrike on pro-government forces as an act of flagrant aggression, which amounts to state terrorism. The American-led coalition attacked a convoy of troops supporting Bashar al-Assad closer to the Iraqi border. The US defended the action, saying it was to protect British and American special forces in the country. Sky senior correspondent David Bowden reports.
In the southern Syrian desert, a pro-Assad militia convoy hit by a US airstrike as it closed in on a Western-backed Special Forces opposition training base at Al-Tanf.